Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Anna Manuel. Elmira's former police chief putting out a statement partially explaining why he's no longer the police chief. As Big Fox's Josh Feldberg reports, the statement questions the ethics of the Elmira Police Department.
The statement put out by former police chief Anthony Alvarez states, "The community should know that I was not willing to compromise my principles or ethics. Ultimately, my beliefs cost me my job." It was on Monday morning when the city manager's office announced that Elmira's police chief was no longer employed with the city. Alvarez's statement began with, "On January 9th, 2023, I was advised that my position as chief of police of the Elmira Police Department was ending, and I was given the option to resign or be terminated." I am back at Elmira City Hall following the statement released last night by former Chief Alvarez. Once again, I have received no comment from Mayor Mandel or Manager Collins. Along with saying his beliefs cost him his job, Alvarez's statement also said, "Throughout my 27 years as an Elmira police officer, my oath of office was very important to me. I am unable to comment on specifics at this time." Deputy Chief Chris Thorne has been appointed acting chief of the police department following Alvarez's departure. In his statement, Alvarez expressed confidence in the future of the department. "I am confident the new generation of officers will continue to foster this sensitive and important relationship. As the story continues to develop, Big Fox will keep you up to date on what led to the departure of the former chief." Josh Feldberg, Big Fox News, Elmira.
An autopsy has determined the cause of death for the two individuals who were found inside a car in Southport last November. The Chemung County Sheriff's Office says the post-mortem examination of Taylor Niemeyer and Ronald Hearn revealed both individuals died from mixed drug toxicity. A lethal mixture of both cocaine and fentanyl was discovered in their systems. The manner of the deaths has been determined to be accidental. New York Republican Congressman George Santos says he will not resign. The lawmaker is facing considerable backlash, even from members of his own party, after he was found to be lying about multiple aspects of his past during his campaign. Yesterday, Nassau County Republicans asked Santos to resign. They claim he was elected on deceit. House Speaker McCarthy addressed the controversy earlier today.
There are concerns with it, so he will go before ethics. If anything is found to be wrong, he will be held accountable exactly as anybody else in this body would be.
Santos says he still expects to be appointed to House committees. Attorney General Merrick Garland appointing a former U.S. attorney from Maryland to be special counsel overseeing the investigation of classified documents found at President Biden's home and at his former think tank. Robert Hur will be in charge of the review. Garland says documents with classified markings were discovered at the think tank in Washington and in the garage of Mr. Biden's home in Wilmington, Delaware.
As I've said before, I strongly believe that the normal processes of this department can handle all investigations with integrity. But under the regulations, the extraordinary circumstances here require the appointment of a special counsel for this matter.
Earlier today, Biden confirmed documents with classified markings found in his residence were locked up in his garage. The president touting new inflation data showing prices are on the path to cooling off. Caroline Shively has more from Washington.
President Biden came to tout the economy Thursday, but reporters seemed more interested in news that classified documents from his days as vice president were found in a second location, in his garage in Delaware.
Mr. President,
Okay.
classified material next to your Corvette. What were you thinking?
People know I take classified documents and classified material seriously. I also said we're cooperating fully.
But the president did talk about inflation. Data out Thursday shows for the first time in more than 2.5 years, Americans paid a little less for goods than they did the month before. The Consumer Price Index fell 0.1% from November to December.
The data is clear. Even though inflation is high in major economies around the world, it's coming down in America month after month, giving families some real breathing room.
Inflation overall remains well above normal levels. Comparing year-over-year numbers for December, prices rose 6.5%. The cost of electricity, hotels, and apparel all increased from 2021, while gas and used cars dropped.
Consumers really are still under real pressure. Again, we've got negative real income. And the question is, how do companies pass along their still high input costs?
Investors hope this means the Fed will take it easy on the next rate hike. They're set to make that announcement February 1st. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
Wegmans will be holding a virtual hiring event to fill hundreds of entry-level management positions. The online event is looking to fill positions at Wegmans stores, warehouses, and distribution centers across the southern tier. Job openings are available in Corning, Elmira, Ithaca, and Hornell. Interested parties should fill out an application on Wegmans' website before the event, which will take place January 18th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. The man accused of murdering 4 University of Idaho students was back in court this morning. Brian Kohberger waived his right to have a preliminary hearing within 14 days. The judge scheduled the hearing for June 26th. Both sides will present evidence to determine whether there's enough probable cause to advance the case to district court. According to a probable cause affidavit, Kohberger conducted surveillance on the home of 3 of the victims and left a knife sheath next to the body of one victim. Kohberger is being held without bail. Tonight, we are learning more about Massachusetts missing mom of 3, Anna Walsh. Police finding some key items that could be linked to the investigation. Molly Line has more.
We definitely want to make sure that the boys are together, especially during this traumatic time. I can only imagine. I mean, we don't know what they've seen, what they've heard, what they're experiencing right now. Do they know anything? Who knows?
Anna Walsh's close friends working tirelessly to keep her 3 young boys together and out of the foster care system.
Our international community is very sad and everybody's reaching out.
There's a whole laundry list of people in our international community, the Sky International Center, that is willing to take these children in with open arms.
The 39-year-old was reported missing on January 4th. According to family, hours before vanishing, Anna tried to reach her mother, sister, and maid of honor in Serbia, but they were sleeping at the time.
There's so much that is happening, and there's a lot of question marks everywhere when it comes to Anna, when it comes to Brian, and we just don't know. And the only thing that's really for certain right now is those boys.
The boys, all ages 6 and under, were taken into state custody after their father, 47-year-old Brian Walsh, was arrested and charged with misleading the investigation into Anna's disappearance. Earlier in the week, investigators found several items, including a hatchet, a hacksaw, and a rug at a garbage plant. And prosecutors revealed in court the police also found blood and a knife in the basement of the family home. Investigators say the items collected are being processed. Brian Walsh is currently being held on $500,000 cash bail. A prayer vigil will take place in the town square this afternoon. In Cohasset, Massachusetts, Molly Line, Fox News.
Celebrating positive life events could be good for your health. That story, plus your weekend forecast when we come back.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Well, the rainy January day did start as we stepped into the afternoon, and we'll continue those wet conditions through the overnight. But you'll want to plan for potentially some more slick surfaces as we head into early Friday, as temperatures are going to be cooling, and they'll be cooling to that threshold that there could be potentially some wintry mix. Now, as of right now, our forecast shows that especially local areas will hang on to those 40s and even upper 30s, which means that we should stay mostly rainfall throughout much of this system. But there will be areas where some snow showers will be possible, and that could create some slick conditions. So for the most part, everybody's going to see still rain continue here through the overnight. Some pockets of some moderate rain showers, which would lead up to about a ½ inch of accumulation. Isolated areas may be heavier at times. Now, temperatures are going to be falling throughout our day on Friday. As we see the temperatures hit about those upper 40s at midnight, that will be our warmest temperature of the day of Friday. From that period on, temperatures will be gradually falling down into those 30s the upper 30s by sunrise, and then falling to those upper 20s by about sunset. And that ending time period where we are seeing that near freezing temperatures will be around at sunset, there could be a few snow showers. However, a lot of that moisture quickly pulls out and holds closer to the Great Lakes and then would be initiated by some lake effect snowfall, as we will see that we have a quick drying period that will lead to a cooler weekend with some returning sunshine. So let's look at the forecast here. As we look, this is midnight. We still have lots of rain across the region, moderate pockets of some showers in place, but your rain snow line is close to the area. It does creep its way towards the Elmira and Corning area by sunrise, but if surface temperatures are warm enough, most of that will melt in that lower atmosphere and see mostly rainfall here locally. Then throughout the day Friday, there wasn't much snowfall. A lot of the snow will be confined, one well off to the north, and then two initiated from some lake effect snowfall from Lake Ontario, as there is going to be a strong northerly wind that will keep in place, and it's going to be straight out of the north, getting upwards of 20 to 30 miles per hour. So when you look at snowfall accumulation, you can see the Finger Lakes, where that lake effect snowfall would be in place, brings maybe upwards of an inch to 2 inches possible. The closer you get to that New York-Pennsylvania border, that's where the snowfall potential is going to be definitely more limited, really dependent on, again, morning temperatures and how long precipitation will hold behind that system. So not expecting a lot, but it's enough to create potentially some hazards throughout the day on Friday that you'll want to keep yourself wary of. Now, as mentioned, temperature-wise, you will note that highs are trying to show the 40s, but that's occurring well early into the day, and then temperatures continue to fall as we will get down into the teens by Saturday morning, which that's seasonal for this time of the year. We'll stay gloomier to start off Saturday, may be some areas of some fog at times as well, but then we'll stay near seasonal for our Sunday forecast with some sunshine dominant all day. We'll continue that sunshine, but watch a warming pattern as we head into next week, but that warming pattern will be associated with another active system.
Starbucks employees are heading back to the office. The Subway sandwich chain could soon be sold, and the maker of iconic tennis shirts looks to score more brands. CJ Papa has those stories and more in today's Business Briefs.
Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz says employees ignored his previous request to return to the corporate office. Now he's demanding they return 3 days a week. The new policy takes effect January 30th. Schultz says he fears remote work had unintended consequences and the business was losing the art of collaboration. Subway was exploring a sale that would value the sandwich chain at $10 billion. That's according to the Wall Street Journal. The process is still in the early stages and is still possible the company isn't sold, but it's expected to attract potential corporate and private equity buyers. Subway has been owned by its two founding families for more than 50 years. The parent company of Lacoste is on the hunt for acquisitions to expand its portfolio of brands. This after the brand, known for its crocodile logo polo shirts embraced by tennis stars, reported record annual sales. Sales at Lacoste rose 26% last year. And T-Mobile could be buying Mint Mobile. Bloomberg is reporting that T-Mobile and Mint have been in discussions. Actor Ryan Reynolds is part owner of Mint. That's business. I'm CJ Papa.
New Social Security payments are being mailed out this month, but when people get them depends on their date of birth. Social Security beneficiaries started receiving boosted benefits payouts this month due to cost of living adjustments. Those payouts are 8.7% higher. When they arrive depends on the days of the month of the recipient's birth. Payments went out on January 11th for those with birth dates from the 1st through the 10th of the month. January 18th payments will cover those with birth dates ranging from the 11th to the 20th, and payouts will be sent out on the 27th for those with birth dates ranging from the 21st through the 31st. Having a party could improve your mental and physical well-being. Ashley Strohmeyer takes a look at a new study that highlights what you need to do at your next celebration to keep you feeling happy and healthy.
Turns out partying could be the key to improving your health. Researchers at Indiana University are revealing the results of a new study which finds celebrating life events can positively impact your mental and physical well-being.
Celebrations can lead to what well-being experts call increased perceived social support. Perceived social support is really important because it's this belief that your social network will be there for you in the event that something bad happens.
This belief alone can enhance your outlook on life and generate other benefits.
There's improved life expectancy. You're better able to deal with the stresses and anxieties that kind of come up in the day-to-day.
So how can you reap these rewards? Analysts say the first thing you need is a positive achievement to recognize.
Maybe you had a graduation, maybe you got a job promotion, maybe you just, your garden's doing really well and you're really proud of the work that you've put into your garden. Anything positive in your life you can use.
Then, as long as you have people to celebrate with and you mark the occasion with food and drink, researchers say you can start feeling socially supported. The study also says these events can prove especially helpful at senior living centers where people may face heightened loneliness. If you can't make it in person to a celebration, researchers found virtual gatherings honoring a positive life event can provide the same benefits as long as there's other virtual attendees and everyone has something to eat and drink.
Still ahead, a small Chicago bookstore goes viral after a tweet about a customer who made a large purchase and then returned it. More on the incredible response from the public coming up. Kindness is not only good for others, it's good for you when you're facing emotional downtimes. An Ohio State University study says doing acts of kindness can help you reduce depression or anxiety. The study followed more than 120 people with moderate to severe anxiety, depression, or stress. The study found doing kind acts was the only intervention that resulted in more social connection. Acts of kindness also took the focus off negative issues. That study is in the Journal of Positive Psychology. Could giving up on your job or employment too soon in life hurt your longer-term mental health? A new study from Binghamton University says going into early retirement could speed your cognitive decline. The study looked at pension plans and socioeconomic characteristics in places like China to see how people were affected. Retiring early led to adverse effects, like delayed recall and reduced brain activity. People who retired too early also had increased levels of social isolation with faster cognitive decline and participated less in activities such as volunteering. Now to the positive power of social media. A small bookstore's response to a massive return goes viral. Anthony Ponce has more on this remarkable story.
We were excited. Somebody came in and bought a bunch of our art books, really expensive, nice books.
$800 worth right before the holidays, which for a neighborhood bookshop like Volumes Book Cafe meant a lot.
My sister remarked wow, you wouldn't believe this person came in and bought all these books. And we were like, wow, cool.
But that happiness was short-lived. Earlier this week, the customer brought them all back to return, explaining that they used the books for temporary props. That prompted owner Rebecca George to vent on Twitter, where on Monday she posted, "Turns out one of our biggest sales last month was for the person to stage their home for the holidays, and now they want to return them all. Please don't do this to a small business, people. That one sale was a third of our rent."
Just venting, yeah. And then I don't know who picked it up, but it went actually pretty fast.
Very fast. In fact, in just 2 days, it's been seen 6.5 million times and counting. And as a result, book orders to the neighborhood shop have been pouring in.
All of them have been leaving notes, beautiful little notes with their purchase of, saying I support you, I think you're great, or keep going and, screw mean people.
The owner says the profit margins on their sales are so slim that it's difficult, if not impossible, to compete with giants like Walmart and Amazon. All the more reason, she says, to not pull a maneuver like this particular customer.
Your decisions have a bigger effect with small business than they do elsewhere.
She says the unlikely situation's a reminder to skip Amazon for a change, pay a winter visit to your nearest neighborhood bookshop, and consider keeping whatever you buy.
If you're making payments with a credit card, you'll want to pay it off quickly. Federal data shows interest rates are reaching all-time record highs. The Federal Reserve's most recent report puts the average rate at just over 19%. That narrowly tops a previous record set in 1985. As prices rise due to inflation, more Americans are putting purchases on credit. Despite the high numbers, most are still making their payments on time. Stay with us. We'll have more after the break. We want to leave you with a smile. A new Universal Park will be open soon. Universal Parks and Resorts says the 97-acre park will be located in Frisco, Texas, which is north of Dallas. The company says the new park is expected to have a different look and feel and will be geared toward families with younger children. Plans include interactive shows and a, quote, lush green landscape. I'm Scott Beadle. Thanks so much for watching.